best wrestling podcast in the world. Fact. The road-wearing, original Pete, the believing, power of positivity, keeping it Rollins, the Summit. Fact. The homicidal, the genocidal, the ECW loving, daring young creeping, Mr. No Days Off, Scott. Fact. The biscuit and gravy eating, Naomi loving, lunatic craving, the melting pot, JP, and you can bank on that. Fact. The Bailey hugging, the interrupting, the Jaeger drinking, mouth of the Carolinas, Lil Steven. Fact.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
I miss you, Darren Young. Little Steven, Darren Young, in an evening gown match with Pat Patterson. Little Steven gets a little French-Canadian in him. If Jeff Hardy's going to face Jay Leno in a steel chairs match, people are just jealous because I got skills.
Here's my issue. Is it worse to get beat by one midget or three? Little Steven in a beer drinking contest with Naomi. I have this big issue with people. I don't want to sound like an idiot.
Just kept it Rollins. Jimmy Hart,
Chirpwave.
X-Pac, against Lil Steven in a microphone on a pole match. Anything can happen. Lightweight. If you don't want it, then don't bark it.
We're 3-man band. That's horrible. I don't want to make you look bad.
You're fired, sir. When you want to hear me mess up, they're in Radioland. When you want to hear me not mess up, I did not know that. Wow. Wrestling with attitude. When you want your beer, awesome.
Welcome to Wrestling Attitude. Of course, I am the Summit. Joining me today is Lil Steven. Welcome to all Periscopians out there. We're watching and listening to the show. What?
Watching and listening?
Well, they're watching and listening, aren't they?
Well, I mean, why don't you just make it one word? They're...
What?
Watch listening.
Watch listen. What?
I don't know.
Watch listening?
Yeah.
Well, make it... Oh.
Just make it one word, man.
This is Mr. Bad Grammar.
We'll save up time.
Speaking of time we'll never get back, that's 3 seconds too long. All right, let's get into this week's top 5 because it is very good this week.
Is it?
No. With this week's bad episode of TNA, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the worst moments in TNA history. Top 5 moments of worst in history.
Oh, that show's going to happen one day.
What?
The Racist and Creeper show.
Here we go.
WWA SoundOff, where your voice can be heard.
Sound off, let them know how you feel. If the anger inside is real, sound off.
Little Steven, please don't let the anger come out.
Oh, it's coming.
This show. No. This week's top 5, though, Sound Off is just what I said, is your top 5 of the week. This week's top 5 is top 5 worst moments in TNA history. Do you have a number 5? If not, it's fine.
Nah, go ahead.
All right. My number 5. I hope everybody watched this before. Claire Lynch. Claire Lynch was the storyline involving AJ Styles and a lady named Claire Lynch. Supposedly, she was his mistress and had a baby through him. Involving AJ Styles, Dixie Carter, having an affair, resulted in Styles having to take Claire Lynch appearing to announce she was an addict receiving help from Dixie and AJ. Later learned that Lynch gave birth to AJ's child.
Someone said Claire Lynch, Becky's sister.
No, she doesn't look that good. But that's my number 5.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube and watch how bad it is.
All right.
Was it not bad? Cognito said, remember that story. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. What?
I don't know if I remember that story. I remember the character, though. Because I had one. Now, I've thought of one since then, was the suicide. I mean, just that whole angle with the wrestler suicide, who we find out later is Austin Aries, which was just bad for him, in my opinion. But I never understood that. I thought that was a bad angle. I didn't like that moment in TNA history. God, I don't like saying that. TNA history. They have no history.
No, you do. Yep. But no, they've had, take that back. They've had some really good matches.
No.
And some good ideas.
Good matches. Good matches, yes.
They've had some good storylines. Some. Now, they have, 410 was good. Not my baby. Yep, exactly. Not my baby's mama. So, it was a bad storyline altogether. My number 4, the Reverse Battle Royal. Anytime you did a Reverse Battle Royal, it was a bad idea.
Okay, explain this to me.
The Reverse Battle Royal? All right. The Reverse Battle Royal,
Goldilocks.
wrestlers began the contest with first surrounding the outside of the ring. Then they had to fight for the entrance until half of the wrestlers made it into the ring. Once they got in the ring, a regular Battle Royal would begin. They start outside, then half of them would get inside.
Why don't they just get in the damn ring?
That's the point of the Reverse Battle Royal.
Idiotic.
Anytime they did this is horrible. I didn't watch these. I don't remember these that many times. But there's a reason they stopped doing it.
All right.
That's my number 4.
Mine's gonna be the Immortals. Hated the Immortals. I thought it was a stupid gimmick. It was just a bunch of people with a lot of egos, like Hogan and Flair, and even Steiner was in the Immortals at once. I'm just saying, like, I thought it was a great idea, but the people you had in it was too much. Like, I think it should have just been Flair and Hogan. And then, like, rest of them, younger guys. Steiner didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Steiner did not need to be there. Like, it was just... And Bischoff's there, and then, like, come on. It just got to the point where it got stupid.
That was number 3?
Yeah, let's call that number 3.
Number 3 for me is any King of the Mountain match.
Well, I thought you were a big fan of King of the Mountain, though.
The egos were bad. Listen, I don't like the whole planet. Do not make wrestling too complicated. All right? You had to beat somebody. You had to wait in a cage. You had to get out of the cage. I'm like, come on. Then you had to climb to the top. You had to climb to the top of the ladder to hang the belt.
Well... I thought you were a big fan of the King of the Mountain stuff because, like, Jeff Jarrett made it, man.
No, I like the WCW triple tier ring steel cage they had.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Which was the dangerous thing ever. Somebody would have fallen off the third cage, they would have died, basically.
No, they would just fell through the first cage. They would have fallen away now.
Look, I know you've seen Ready to Rumble. It doesn't happen that way, okay? DDP would have been dead if that was real life.
Wrestling is our rope. So the bell on a rope match was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. That would be a top 5 moment.
That one.
Mm-hmm. You said, do you have a number? You already did your number 3.
Yeah.
You got number 2?
Yeah, I got a match at Bound
Joker Sting.
Bound for Glory.
I liked some of Joker Sting. I thought Joker Sting was good
Joker Sting.
point.
I thought Joker Sting was good. I don't know why people hate it. I mean, do they just hate it because he was ripping off the Joker? I mean, is that why?
No, there was parts of it. It got bad. It got bad at parts of it. It was fun at first, but then it got too gimmicky.
Okay. So let me go with the X Division at Bound for Glory this year. Did not like it.
Why?
Didn't like it.
The Ultimate X?
Yeah.
Will you put that in the 5 worst moments of TNA history?
Okay, probably wouldn't. All right, I'll take that one back. Okay, well, I got one for you.
All right.
Matt Hardy winning at Bound for Glory. You even said it yourself, worst thing that ever happened. And look, I'm a Hardy fan. That's the thing. James has made me a non-Hardy fan because he showed me some really bad things. He's showed me TNA nowadays. I can't be a Hardy fan with this crap. I can't.
Oh, wait until you see this week.
I already tell you, that's my number 1. The stupid Willow and other, this Brother Nero crap is just pissing me off right now.
Well, actually, if you
One of my favorite tag teams of all time are just idiots nowadays.
number 2, I'll go ahead and elaborate on what you're saying. TNA this week, Matt and Jeff Hardy. This is horrible. I mean, the skunk down is the homeless looking Seth Rollins character that he's got going on.
Wouldn't call him the homeless Seth Rollins character.
It is stressful. It is stressful.
Don't you dare be sour, Steven. I won't. I won't.
But it's just bad. I mean, watching these two, watch Matt and Jeff, and they were a year too late.
Yeah.
They should have done this last year at Bound for Glory when they were in Concord. Because then you could have started building Matt Hardy as a big heel. What?
I do have another one.
Well, I mean, I got number one. We got number ones out there.
Yeah.
Done.
So I'll just put all that in number 2. Just basically
We've never seen it before. I agree, but they should have done this last year.
Yeah.
No, but my point is the way they built this up has been horrible. If they done it at Bound for Glory in Concord last year in their home state, people would like it a lot more than they do now. Man. And the bad video editing is horrible. Anyway.
I mean, come on. If Ring of Honor can have better video editing than you, and they don't have the budget TNA does, well, maybe now they do. But it's just stupid.
And let me say this. It's a shame because you're a big fan of the Hardys. I'm a fan of the Hardys. But to watch them now in this rivalry is embarrassing. The first time they've had a match in WWE,
Whoa.
we know. What?
I disagree with you, man. The Hardy rivalry in TNA is better than the one in WWE. I don't know. I mean, okay.
No, here, it wasn't a long enough feud. That's the problem in WWE. They had it like one pay-per-view.
Yes, they did, Mr. Incognito. They did do a rivalry.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a rivalry, but remember, they did a very short.
It was very
They
short.
did one pay-per-view, and that was it. Then they squashed it. If they would have done more of it, it would have been a lot better.
All right. Okay,
a rivalry.
I'll take
hold
it
on.
back.
A rivalry is more than one match. Okay, not one match and you're done.
I mean, I don't know if he's
Good heel to a point. I
Better
actually
than-
hold on. The iconic Matt Hardy was better than this. Okay, the broken Matt Hardy is not a good character. It's not.
Big Money Matt was better than this. I'm sorry. I liked the Big Money Matt character. I thought it was good. I liked it.
For example, if Mick Foley tweets, "What the heck did I just watch?" That has me scared.
Yeah.
What I just saw. Then you know it's bad.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah. But anyway.
What a personal problem. Oh, okay. Well, speaking of that brings me to my number 1 with the whole Jeff Hardy with drugs.
Hold on. It wasn't big at the time because they really didn't push it that much. It wasn't for a title, so it wasn't as big.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you remember, they only had one match. Mm-hmm. If they would have had a couple more matches, it would have been bigger.
Yeah.
What?
And Jeff Hardy was skyrocketing at the time.
Because after that, that's when he started fighting the Edge, and
He started becoming
right,
basically
he fought
the
CM
champion.
Punk,
Yeah.
and he fought for the heavyweight belt.
So my number 1 is Jeff Hardy versus Sting. Gosh, what was?
Are you going to say the one he come out drunk?
Yeah.
All right, let me stop you. My number 1 also is the same thing.
Is it?
2011 at Victory Road.
I didn't
This was a
expect that.
pay-per-view for this is the most embarrassing moment in TNA history. I don't care what anybody says. And honestly, this is where TNA started going downhill. Because they brought in Hogan, they brought in Bischoff, they changed from the 6-sided ring to the 4, and they tried to change it.
Yeah.
And then you put all your faith in Jeff Hardy, and he showed up to the event drunk. And even Sting, everybody was so mad at Jeff. He got suspended after. It was bad. I mean, and they have really not recovered from that since.
Yeah, they haven't. And I think you hit the nail on the door or nail on the coffin, whatever you want to call it. I think when they changed the 6-sided to the 4, that was a huge mistake, really. They should have never done that. No, because think about it. That's what made TNA different, right? That made TNA different because they were a 6-sided ring, not a 4-sided.
The call was to make the match end quickly. Sting retaining his belt after 2 minutes of actual in-ring action. TNA later issued an apology and offered a refund that free access to the company's video library.
A what? Free access?
They gave them a refund that offered a free access to the company's video library.
Wow.
So the question is, how is it possible that nobody working for TNA made the call to prevent Hardy from going to the ring? I mean, why do you think it's such a big deal that why do you think Vince and Triple H say what you want about WWE? Why do you think Vince and Triple H are right there when you go out?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's the match. But why do you think the two of them are right there when people go out to the ring together?
Because they make sure, yeah.
Because they make sure the wrestlers are in shape and they know what they need to do. You can say what you want about Vince and Triple H. They do that the right way.
They do. You're right.
So, anyway, that's our top 5. You guys, anything on the
man,
top
that was
5?
good.
I figure it'd be a little bit different. Next week, we will top 5 draft picks of all time.
Okay.
We're going to do top 5 draft picks of the draft for Raw and SmackDown. Since 2 weeks is the live draft. On SmackDown, USA Network at 8 p.m.
All right.
All right. You got anything else?
Nah, man.
You good? All right. We're going to end today's show. We got another show coming up after this for all our Periscopians. We'll review Raw. We'll talk about beat up John Cena, everything else. I can't wait to talk about it. It's going to be great. I don't know why you're shaking your head. We'll find out why little Steven's shaking his head already.
Rant time coming up.
I will cut you off during this rant if you rant about this, because that can't happen. Anyway, you're listening to Wrestling with Attitude.